amazing Arizona Con. We're interviewing Rick Hoberg right now. He has done a lot of stuff.
I'm tired.
Yeah. I mean, on your banner here, you're most known for doing some of Marvel's original Star Wars.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's actually how I got my break is in the business. Was I started off doing some other work. I was doing some overseas Tarzan comics for Russ Manning, and then after I lost that job, shortly thereafter, Roy Thomas started feeding me just little extra jobs after he moved out to LA from New York, and he became the first editor outside of New York to have his own autonomy and run his own crew. And he decided to use me here and there, and when Star Wars came along, I had probably at that point expressed an interest in it because I'd been reading about it in the LA Times for a couple of years, and I loved George Lucas's American Graffiti and THX 1138. And he gave me a tumble on this, and it literally made my career. I still to this day work for Lucasfilm and do stuff for them, so it's been a great relationship.
Wow, that's awesome. So actually on the subject of Lucas, your website actually showcases your work on new Force Awakens characters. So are you happy with that transition back into Marvel, or like how do you feel about
this
Force
isn't actually
Awakens?
Marvel stuff. This is licensing work done directly for Lucas Licensing and Lucasfilm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who I'm working for. It's the stuff you see on people's T-shirts and in print for licensing uses. Just yesterday, I went into a CVS drugstore and I walked past some children's sunglasses, and here were little images that I'd drawn on the sunglasses. So that's kind of fun for me to see it all over the place like that.
That's great. Is it tempting to like point it out to people, or?
No, but once in a while I buy one of the T-shirts because I can't stand it. I picked up one a week ago that has 7 of the Force Awakens characters that I did all together on it, and I thought, I just got to have that,
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's great. So do you just send them the images and then they do all the layering and effects and whatnot?
Yeah, I do individual images.
Okay.
And they'll like put a logo on it, or sometimes do coloring on it, or add some kind of a designy motif or something to it. It's hard to say what they're going to do. There's one that's very popular that has a Millennium Falcon on it. It's like a light brick red shirt, and it has a Millennium Falcon on it, and it has 2 diagrammatical designs underneath of it. That's one of mine right there. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I see that one and a particular Death Star one all over the place.
Yeah, I've seen both of those.
Somebody and I was walking through an airport with a woman that I'd been speaking to on an airplane coming home from a show, and she says, so what is it exactly that you do? And at just that moment, a guy was walking toward us with one of my shirts on. I went, right there, that's what I do. One of those, that guy's wearing one of them, so
that's awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's a movie moment. That's
yep,
great.
It is.
So you've also, in your history, have done work for both comic strips and comic books.
Correct.
You ghosted for Keita on 81 and 82 Spider-Man.
That's correct.
Yeah. What is that like, working on a strip versus a book, and which one do you like more?
Oh, strip work is extremely hard. It's deceptively difficult. Most people think you're only drawing 3 panels a day. How tough can it be? But trying to create story in 3 panels and remind people what has gone before in the previous story, it's not like doing a cartoony strip where the people are just doing a gag every day. You have to continue a story along the way. So yeah, the comic strip is a difficult thing to do because of like I said, the necessities of it make it extremely hard to make sure you do it right every day. And I prefer doing comics because there's more freedom to do what you want to do with it. And storyboards, even though you're working on somebody else's project, with storyboards you're actually getting to be the actor, the director, you're getting to do the whole thing, and at times you can make it up because they give you something vague to work with, like they'll say, so Spider-Man battles the Dr. Octopus on top of the building. Well, that leaves it open to anything you want to do, so those areas are more interesting to me than comic strips. I had a more fun time doing the Star Wars comic strip than I did Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, I was working directly with Stan Lee because he was right there at Marvel Productions when I was working there, and that's the reason I got the gig. And Stan was very hands-on with it, so it was hard pleasing him. He's Stan Lee, you know?
Right. And how do you argue with Stan Lee?
You don't.
Right.
It's what he does, you know?
I see. And Lucas, coming from a director's perspective, did you get to do more with comics because they just sort of let you do that?
You mean on the comic strip?
Yeah, because you're going from a 3D
working-
medium to a strip. So how was that more?
No, are you talking animation, 3D? What are you talking 3D?
Well, you're talking about translating the Star Wars comics into a strip, and so I would imagine the way that the people think about Star Wars is in terms of a movie,
Right.
and not a 2D medium.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And we were trying to keep it close, but still do comics. And there was no problem with that because Lucas wanted that. He did not want it to be ultra realistic and exactly like the movies. That's why he chose Russ Manning to do it initially. But it became evident to everybody that Al Williamson would be the best guy to do this because Al was just made to do Star Wars. He had that combination of being able to do realism and still create a fantasy world with it. So when it ended up with him, nobody complained. You know?
Awesome.
Especially not me. I was dead tired by that point.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Well, all right. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.